What exactly is an angel? Well, who better to answer that question than the angels themselves? I'm Ann Tucker, and this is my new YouTube channel. And thanks so much for stopping by. I am a trance channel, so I channel from the angelic realm. And in order to do that, I raise my awareness up as high as I can go, and then a little bit higher, and I connect with them, and those messages start to come through. And I write them down, the words that they say, and I share them with you here. And the topic they chose to speak about for today was what exactly is an angel? So they're going to go into more details, and they've been doing several messages like this recently, kind of aligned in this series, talking about what they can do for us and how we can help them and how they see us. And now this one, which is really talking more about really what is an angel. And there were several pieces of this message that really blew my mind. So I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I did. If you want to hear more messages like this one, please do like the video, and it would help a lot if you would subscribe to the channel. You can do that. There's a little button in the corner, or you can go down below in the description box. You can hit the subscribe button, and that way you will be notified of all the new videos that I put up. And if you would like to join me live and be part of the live broadcast of these videos, you can find me in my Facebook group, which is called Spirit Means Business. There's a link in the description box, or you can just go to Facebook, type in Spirit Means Business, and I would love to see you there as well. So here is the message. And anyways, I have a super cool message to share with you guys today from the angels. We channeled this together yesterday. And it's been interesting. I've actually been saving all of these messages to share with you guys. And hi, I see you guys joining. Great to see you. There's Rebecca. Hi. Anyways, I've been saving all these messages and putting them into one collection, which I will share with you guys at some point. It's amazing. There's already a really nice collection, and they're grouping into themes. So I'm realizing that as they sort of pick these topics, because I just open up and let them talk about whatever they're going to talk about, they have a method to this madness. This is all these topics are kind of fitting together into categories. So I'll share it with you when I get it all in there. If right now it's already like 10,000 words or something like that. There's a lot in there. And just like you guys know, these messages that they give us are profound and interesting and eye-opening and inspiring. And so I'm super excited about it, but I'll let you know as it develops. So anyways, hello, good morning, happy Friday. All right, so who is ready for a super cool angel message? This one is all about what is an angel. So they're getting a little bit more, and they've given us some information about this in the past, where they talked about how they see us, and they've talked about how to work with them and how they want to work with us, right? How they want to help us. Here they get into more detail about what it is that they are. And it says there's some pieces in here that are really surprising. So I'll go ahead and dig in. So they say, you can begin now. We say hello to our friends there. We wish to be employed by yourselves, but we have not the means to answer your call in all circumstances. We are encouraging yourselves to understand our limitations so that you may employ us most efficiently. So I think that's their goal in terms of sharing more about themselves, is that we understand, what they are and how we can work with them. So yes, angel message book. Yeah, I think it's going to be super cool. And it's like I said, profound stuff. It's coming together. So I will let you know as soon as it's ready. I feel like there's more coming. So I just kind of leave the door open and let more of these messages come through, and then we'll compile them all, because it is to be able to read them is just wow. But okay, so continuing on. And this part really got me. This is really interesting. We are substrate to yourselves, the substance you lean upon. We are integral to your own creation. We have a role given by him who speaks of love, or speaks in love. We have an undertaking, which is to be your constant companion. We have some filter by which we can comprehend all you speak, all you know, all you feel and know. We can understand that which you desire to create, and those obstacles you have instigated. This we know. So the part that got me there was when they say that they are substrate to ourselves, the substance we lean upon, and that they're integral to our creation, which to me, that opens up like a whole nother flood of questions. Like, to be substrate, like a substrate is something that something else grows out of. So it's the underneath, it's the thing that supports the thing on top. So it sounds almost as if, as humans, that we have a deeper integration with angels than we may realize, that there may be a thing where maybe we were created together, right? I'm not really sure, but this idea, this word substrate and the substance we lean upon, like, yes, we lean upon them, like they're integral to our life. And I do know that each of us has our own guardian angel, right? We all have an angel that's with us at all moments, like literally right now, right this moment, right behind you, like almost half in your energy is, or half in your body is your angel. Your guardian angel is right there and they're with you the whole time through, right? They never leave your side. So yes, like the substrate we lean upon, it can mean like maybe they are a separate being, but maybe we're not so separate. And that's what's kind of blowing my mind. Like maybe, like, are we created together? Like, are the angels, like, I know that, I think it's written somewhere, it's probably in the Bible. I'm sorry, I'm not a great Bible scholar. It probably says in the Bible that a certain number of angels were created all at once, and like that's all the angels there are for all eternity. And maybe that's the case. But this is interesting that they are the substrate to ourselves, that we grow out of them. So maybe even if they were here first, maybe we somehow grew from them. I don't know. Anyways, this raised a lot of questions for me. Like, okay, that's an interesting way to say that. What does that mean? But they're saying, okay, so next thing, and that's a question for another live, right? Like I got to ask that. I got to go into that because that is, right? You're saying we are one. Yeah, right? We are one. We are one. But I also wonder, like, to what degree is our creation related to them? I don't know. That's interesting to me. I really would like to know that. So we'll see if they want to answer that or not. Then they go on to say that they can comprehend all everything that we're talking about, everything we're thinking, they can comprehend all of it. They can understand what we desire to create. And they say they do that through a filter. They have a filter that allows them, by some filter, that they can comprehend everything that we're thinking, feeling, whatever that's going on. They can understand it. And they can also understand what we want to create and the obstacles that we have instigated, which I love that phrasing. They're so careful. They never say the obstacles that you face. They say the obstacles that you have instigated. Always acknowledging that we are the only thing standing in our own way, right? Like they never say, oh yeah, there's all these roadblocks you're facing. No, they're obstacles we instigated. So this we know, they say. Okay, next paragraph. We have not the perception of each breath, every knowing moment or feeling that arises, only that which surfaces to our perception and allows our entrainment. We can perceive that which you let us, but you have within those places of secret, those memories indistinct and hidden, those feelings not shown even to yourself. And these places must signify your blocks, your reluctance and resistance. These we must investigate to fully comprehend. You are a being of complexity and have entwined in your desire much convoluted wiring, many diversions of passage that must be unwound to fully reveal the person that you are. So in other words, if we have feelings that we're not acknowledging ourselves, if we've buried things deep inside and we're not bringing them up to our conscious awareness, they're saying that they don't have automatic perception of that. That basically that we have, when we bring things up, then they perceive it. But if we have things buried down deep, that things that we've hidden even from ourselves, that they have to actually go in order to see it. And they don't go into our bodies without our permission. They don't come in and dig around and work. Like whenever I do a session with my Golden Circle group, whenever we have our angel sessions or our one-on-one sessions, the angels always ask permission, right? They always ask permission. They always make sure the person says yes. And then they go in and then they have to investigate. They look around and they're sort of like, okay, I see how this connects to this. And I see, like, they have to go in and dig, right? And so they don't see that on a daily basis. On a daily basis, they stay a little bit higher and they're aware of the things that we surface, but not of the stuff that's deep down that maybe we're not acknowledging, right? They might acknowledge that we're hiding emotions, right? They might know that we've got a lid on things and they can see that, but they might not know all the deep hidden little nooks and crannies that we tend to keep secret even from ourselves. And they can get to that when we let them come in and see. So that's how I understand this paragraph. All right. So then they go on to say, make sure we're in the right place here. There we go. We have thoughts, feelings as you are understood to have, but ours are not ranging in the same vibrations as your own. We feel love primarily. We feel sympathy and caring concern, but not fear. Concern comes from dismay, the feeling of slight disappointment at your reluctance to embrace ourselves. not disappointment in yourselves, but a missed opportunity, the reluctance to let the good passage go by too easily. We feel when this occurs. When a potential gateway is closed, we feel a potent mix of love causing our vibration to fluctuate and feel some disappointment that this has not transpired. So it's, I think it's interesting to say that, yeah, they do have feelings, right? They have feelings, and they're not quite like ours. That it's almost like that you remember that all emotions, like you remember Dr. Emoto's, not Dr. Emoto's water, but the range of frequency vibrations that go like where on the high end you've got like, love and oneness and all these good things, and then down in the middle you have all these sort of and anyways, and then you get down to the bottom, you've got like, anger, and then goes shame, and then grief, and all these things there's sort of a spectrum of emotions. And they're saying that they have emotions as well, but theirs are at a different frequency, primarily love. And then they have this fluctuation. I love how they described it. They said a potential, and they feel it, like they say, okay, they have a disappointment, but it's when, like, say, for example, that they see some great avenue that we can take where we can embrace ourselves, or we can express ourselves, or we can get over some block, or we can grow in some way. And when they're with us all the time and they see one of those go by, they feel a moment of, like they said, their vibration fluctuates, and it's a potent mix of love causing our vibration to fluctuate and feel some disappointment that this has not transpired. So they're saying never disappointed in us, but disappointed that we missed a chance, that we missed some potential opportunity for growth. So I think that was interesting. And then they go on to say, it is not as you feel in the sense of your trajectory. Disappointment leads your mind to fill in with stories that lead your energy into a vacuum of care, downward spiraling sorrow. But we are not that way. We do not have attachment to any one method for your enrichment. We are not demanding that any one passage occurs, but we feel the lack when opportunity passes you by. So they don't get locked in story. They're saying that stuff can happen, and they don't actually allow that to drag them down the way we can. Like when we get disappointed, then we start making up stories internally about ourselves, about, oh, I failed, or I'm not good enough, or like there's all these things we get into, right? And that they never experience that. They have this more experience of like, oh, well, that, too bad that went by. They feel sorrow about something going by, but it doesn't drag them down in the same way that it drags us down. Okay, they go on to say, we are aware in all moments of the potentials that arise, and we are hoping for your benefit. We are not neutral in your case. We care, we try, we are advocates for your benefit. We love unconditionally. And I think that's lovely that they specifically say that, yeah, that this idea that they are detached, yeah, like they say they are detached in the sense they don't make up stories, right? They don't get caught up in the spiral of emotion, but that doesn't mean that they're neutral. They're not neutral where we're concerned, that they are invested in our growth, invested in our progress, in our path, and they want the best for us. So they will feel disappointment if something passes us by, which I think is an interesting thought. They really are rooting for us. And so how do you balance that? I wondered that. How do you balance that sense of unconditional love, and you only feel love all the time, and but wouldn't you be a little disappointed? Yeah, they say they are a little bit disappointed if we miss something, if we miss a chance to grow. They go on to say, we are love as you are, but we are different. We are not made of the same stuff. He has chosen to give yourselves the fear of himself, the fear of life, the causing trouble in expression to create friction for your benefit and enrichment. We have no such trouble. Only our only trepidation is working with yourselves, knowing you are facing these telling events, and we must sit by and attend to your welfare and do nothing more. And this can be hard. We do not wish for another role. We are content and engaged and love yourselves fully. We want to be in your presence and experience your divine link to him. And by him, they mean God. And they're using that phrasing because that's my phrasing. So please substitute with your word. So it's interesting. Like there's just more to what I would consider humanity coming through in terms of how they're describing themselves. That sense of, we think of our compassion and our love as being a core human trait, and to see that coming through and how they're talking about themselves is really, really lovely. Okay, they go on to say, we have legs and arms when we choose to, but light is what we are. Light infused with energy divine, consciousness shared among many. Identity is meaningless to us here. We have many expressions, You can see us as yourselves, physical at times. Most rare this is, not frequent. You can experience us most often as light, a glimmer, a circle in a photograph. But at times we appear only as sound or energy to be felt by your person. So, and how many of you have seen those oozles that appear in photographs? Like you can see like lots of little oozles, in I've seen people when they've been working with angels and there's a photograph taken and there's these little circles that show up in the photograph, which I just think is super cool. And I have seen amazing stories of people who has seen physical angels. I know people, a good friend of mine actually had one show up and spoke to her and knew her name and said amazing, profound things. So I know that happens. We've shared some of those stories here with each other, which is wonderful. But I think what they're saying here is that most of us are going to feel them as energy, right? Energy within our bodies. And then here you're saying it's a love often described as agape, which is Italian. It's like a parent watching a child trip and fall and get herself back up. Yeah, great analogy. Yeah, we know the falls are inevitable and part of the discovery and development of skills. We see the beauty in the human experience when we watch our kids. I think that's a great example. Yeah, and I think that's a lot of what it is. Like they never put themselves above us or further ahead of us in that way, but they do see us on a journey of learning, like the way that you might feel like with a parent and a child, where the child is growing up to be the parent. But here, I feel like they have a lot of respect for us, but they are watching us in that same way, watching us go through the journey, that's a great example. Agape. Thank you for the pronouncement there. That's good. All right. So then you go on to say, we have vibrations higher than your own, closer to him we call God. We are directly connected to him as you are, but our frequency allows us to migrate in between. For this reason, we are messengers on your behalf. We hear and convey your wishes. We grant that which can be appealed to himself. Your true self, higher self, must allow, and we proceed. We help. We enjoy this process immensely. It is our function to be in communication between ourselves, and him who we call God, all-knowing consciousness, conscious awareness. We carry your messages in our hearts back to him, not physically, and I think this is super interesting, not physically, but by generating resources, carrying energy to call attention to that which you wish to be said. For attention is God. We seek to draw energy to yourselves. Energy flows with awareness. We call in this light and shine it upon that which you wish to say. This allows your imprint to sail among the stars, to be heard by those it seeks. It travels by and through awareness. Seeking attention is only how we can imprint your voice upon the heavens. So, wow, right? Like that's one of those mind blowers right there, because you always see, like in all the old paintings of angels, you see like angels taking a message and carrying it. Like I've heard of them as messengers before, that they are messengers, but you always see them like taking a message, like a little mail, like they're the, angel post office and they're delivering the message to someone else. But they're saying no, that there's no physical, it makes sense, right? Of course, they don't have to go somewhere to deliver. Like consciousness is everywhere. Consciousness is in our cells, right? It's everywhere. They don't have to go anywhere to deliver our message. They do it by focusing awareness on what it is we want to say. So it's like they are an amplifier of awareness, bringing awareness and light to what it is that we want to communicate, which is, okay, it's, to me, that's like, it makes so much sense, but it is a mind blower. For me anyways. I don't know what you guys think, but to me, that is, I had never thought of it that way before. And here, I'll just repeat this certain sections here. They say, energy flows with awareness. We call in this light and shine it upon that which you wish to say. This allows your imprint to sail among the stars, to be heard by those it seeks. It travels by and through awareness. So seeking attention is how we can imprint your voice upon the heavens. So I just think that's a super cool concept. It makes a ton of sense. And we hear all the time about the power of our awareness, right? That the things that you focus on, that's where energy goes, right? That's where if you want to create something in the world, you focus on it. And where your attention goes, energy flows. Like we hear that lovely little rhyme. Energy goes, attention flows. And that's what they're saying. And they are there to help us. So that's how, when we say a prayer, when we make a wish, when we set an intention, that's how they focus energy onto it. They bring awareness, not just energy, but awareness to it. Wow. So it has to be, it's not just energy. It is that idea of some conscious being, conscious energy paying attention to the things that you are articulating. Yeah, super interesting. Okay. And you're saying perhaps why they are often depicted with trumpets raising up to the heavens. Whoa, amplifying it. Oh my gosh, I love that. Wow, that is, I wonder, the heralding angels, right? That's a really interesting question. I wonder. Okay, next paragraph. They say, we can draw to yourselves that light you seek, the light of another being, of yourselves becoming further engulfed in rhapsody, in becoming fortunate, in becoming effortless. So these are the things we might be wishing for, that we want to bring towards us the light of another being. So maybe we're trying to find our special someone in the world, of becoming further engulfed in rhapsody. So that's like becoming more ecstatic and joyful in our life. Becoming more fortunate or becoming more effortless. And these are all things that we might wish for ourselves, the prayers that we might make or intentions we might set. They say, we seek to amplify these messages and do so, but know that not all patterns in the universe support your desires and some cannot be. We cannot find the pathway forward for those desires not aligned. Instead, we focus the light and care upon you to heal the wish, the sense of lack unbecoming to your gentle spirit. We wish to embrace yourself with love. So that's the whole message. Wow, right? I have chills. I have chills from that. Like I am blown away by that concept of awareness. I think that's just a cool way of thinking about it. And you're saying perhaps why the angels are often depicted with trumpets. Oh yeah, that's what I just read that one. So yeah, I think it's such a cool message. And maybe it is. I've heard that there are, like, I know there are angels involved in making music. Like, music is a thing. I'm not sure how that all fits in, and they didn't get into it. Maybe that's a question for another day. And what do the trumpets mean? Like, is that the amplification, or is that having to do with angels making music? I don't really know. But they certainly have given us a lot more information today here about exactly what they are and how they exist. I think, to me, the pieces that I keep running through my head are this idea of substrate, that they are substrate to ourselves, that somehow we are. To me, that sounds like we grew out of them. Like, that's what substrate, you grow out of substrate, right? And so and then they're the substance we lean upon, and that is true in our lifetimes. Like, they are right behind us all the time. Like, they're the ones that prevent you from accidentally stepping in front of that car, right? Like, they're right there all the time. So yeah, they are the substance we lean upon. And I love that they call themselves a substance, because they say they're light, right? They're not they can be physical, they can have arms and legs, they can appear, but they say they're mostly light. They have a frequency of emotions, right? A series, but it's a different frequency from ours, right? Just like, and I love that we have a spectrum of emotion, and they're the same. They also have a spectrum of emotion. It's just a slightly different range. So I think that's really interesting. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this message. To me, there was a lot of things that got me thinking, that were mind-blowing, and it does help to understand how to work with them when you understand, like the whole idea that they're going to amplify what we say, that's how they're going to communicate what it is, that because then we can help, right? If the whole idea is amplification, what can you do in the setting of your intentions that are focused on amplification, focused on drawing awareness, right? Can you visualize? Can you set yourself in an environment as you meditate, before you set an intention, and imagine all the light bulbs out there of all the attention that you want to draw to this message? Who is it that you're trying to attract, or who is it that you want to bring towards you? What kind of attention are you trying to draw to yourself in setting setting your intention? And imagine that as you say your intention, and that may help them with their process of drawing attention, right? If you become a participant in the process of drawing awareness, that can only help, I bet. So anyways, all right, that was a good one. So hopefully, guys, you loved it too. I did. And I am looking forward to the next one. I love the fact that actually collecting all these has given me like an even greater love for getting them, because now it's like I'm putting them all into this little book, and it's like I see it growing, and the messages, they're awesome individually, but you put them in the context of all of them, and it's like, oh, it's getting really cool. It's really exciting. So, all right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. You're saying this was superb. Thank you, Anne. Oh, I'm so glad you thought so. I loved it too. You're saying, oh my gosh. Okay. So now you're saying, and someone says chills, me too. You're saying music equals frequency. Okay. Totally. Right. I didn't even think of that. And you're right. You're right. I have to ask them about that, because that's super interesting. Now you're saying, sometimes I allow myself to lie back into their arms And let their wings wrap around me, such peace. Oh, that's beautiful. And you're saying, love this message. Thank you, you guys. Thanks so much. What a gift. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying the messages too. I really am. And I love sharing with you guys. So it's been such a fun experience. And every time I learn something, every single time. So, all right, you guys, sending you lots of love. Happy Friday. And I will be seeing you next Friday live, if not sooner. Bye-bye.